Good morning. Today's a new month. This is the 1st of August 2024, and for the second time today I'm going to go through my pre-market plan. I just realised I didn't hit the go live button, so I've been chatting for the last 10 minutes and not realising I wasn't live. Excuse me. Okay, so let's start again. So first of all, news for today to see what can move the market. As I've already done this, I'll be quick. We had news at 8:30. And we saw a little tiny move, a little bit of a push up and then a rejection. It's rejecting that area now. We do have major news at 10 AM PMI, so keep an eye on any trades you may be in at 10 AM because that could be moving the market. As I've already talked about my levels in the video, which I just didn't go live on, I already know what we're looking at, so it'll be quick and easy. So my first prime area to watch today is 55.34. It's a key area. We've got area confluence, tops and bottoms of candles, bottoms of this pivot, the tops of this area here as well. And it was actually an area I waited for the break and retest yesterday, and I went long. I had a decent 3R, almost a 5R trade. Came back and trailed me out, but it did go 5, 6, 7R in the end. That's a different story. I need to work on my trade management, my exits. I just didn't want to be up 3R and then watch it stop me out. But anyway, I'm watching the same area where I went long yesterday, 55.34 for the bounce, and that's an area of confidence, tops of all those pivots. I'm also watching for the break and retest of yesterday's high, pre-market high, long, and I will also consider a rejection in that area if we can't break through. So that's two levels for 55.96, that's almost 5600, which is a psychological number as well. And then finally, if we see a big sell-off today, then doubt we'll get down there, but we've got this double bottom already. I'm going to be watching 54.36, 54.40 for the bounce. Rejection wise, if we can get up into this area, we've got a lot of volume. The point of control runs right through that area at 56.40. Big area of confidence as well, lots of touches there, lots of touches. It was the ceiling, was the floor, then it became the ceiling again just there, and so I'm looking for a rejection up here at 56.40, and that's it. Obviously next high will be, next area will be all-time highs, so we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. SPY next, exactly the same as ES. I'm watching for the bounce in this region, 5.47. If we can come back down into that region, I'll watch for the bounce there. We do have volume coming in from that point on as well, so we may be able to use a bit of that volume as I stop a natural support. Excuse me one second. I'm watching for the break and retest over the pre-market high into this region, 5.56. Pre-market high is currently at 5.54 area, and I quite like this area here for a rejection, or if I'm in a long, if I'm taking a break, I could use that area as a target. I don't really want to see it go against me, so I'll probably use that as an all out. That's it. And again, like ES, if we do see a big sell off, we can watch this double bottom down here at 5.38. So just to recap, 5.54.16 break and retest, 5.47 area to 5.48 for the bounce, and then we've got 5.38 to 5.40 for the bounce, and then we can watch for rejection up here at 5.56, almost 5.57 down to 5.56. SPX, so we've got a psychological number 5600 around that area there. Where is it? 5600 there, but I do quite like the level below that, 55.81 to 55.82, that area there for rejection, so I'll be watching that on the ES. I do quite like the bounce around this area at 5.48.86. That's a big area of confluence as well, close to a pivot. We held that level for the last few days, and we've got a massive big amount of volume coming in that area as well, so potentially watch for a bounce down at 54.86. We do have 5500 just above it as well, and even though that's a psychological number, and we did bounce on the 19th, I still quite like this area because that's the area it seems to be holding, but we can watch that entire region. That's it for SPX. Remember with SPX as well, I watched that with my ES. So if the SPX is above an area, we're watching for a bounce here, and I want to go long on ES, and that will add as an extra confirmation. But if the SPX is below an area and it's now got resistance above, and I want to go long, then that's going to be a harder trade and probably not a decent trade on the ES. NQ next. This is the NQ Nasdaq E-mini futures. Not quite as clear as ES, and I do quite like the break and retest over that region, but probably more for, I think it's better for rejection. I'll come back to that. I'm going to look at QQQ for a second. Here you go, that's a bit clearer, QQQ. So if we can break over the 200 moving average and close above the pre-market high and we pull back into it, that's a decent break and retest. So we can watch that into this region here. We've got a bit more room to maneuver, like the Nasdaq. I quite like the bounce here at 467.50. Potentially we can watch for the break and retest of pre-market low as well into that area. And then obviously same as before, if we get into this region, we can watch that area 454 to 456 for a bounce. So with that in mind, let's go back to NQ. It's hard to go long on NQ. We're still in a downtrend, even though we've broken. Let's get rid of these trend lines. Let's add a new one. So that's our current trend line, which we've broken it. Okay, so NQ, I'm just going to wait for it to come back and retest this area, which is yesterday's low, and it's a test of the trend line as well. I quite like 19,344 for the bounce. Our first target could be there. We can also add a break and retest as an add if we get down. If we can get over the pre-market high, then we can watch for a long, but it's higher risk because of the volume to the left, and we've got a bit of volume on the profile as well, so it's going to be harder to go long, which will make taking QQQs harder as well. So it may look like a decent move up on QQQs, no big gap, but it's got to be reliant on this breaking out. If we can get above this area, that's a different matter. We've got a big gap up to the next level. Okay, so I'm a bit undecided really with Nasdaq. That's it really. I think the best one would be the retest down here. QQQ we just looked at, again exactly same levels. Crude oil, we're claiming this channel again. It's not really much of a channel now because it's been broken a couple of times. We broke it there, we broke it here as well. We can probably put a new channel in, but it's playing the levels. You can see this level, this level we've had this level in place for some time now. It goes back a while. 78.88, it came right up into that in the post market or the pre-market and rejected it, and literally is right on the dot as well. So the next area to watch for a bounce will be this area here, and that would be 77.50. So let's mark it up on trading view. This area confluence at the bottom of pivot, area confluence, and then like we touched it, rejected it, broke through, but we've yet to come back to retest it. So 77.46 for the bounce to continue. And if we scroll out or if we look on the daily, we have been in this uptrend and we're just going sideways for a bit. You could even draw in that pattern. You can see we're close. We're getting more and more narrow, big wide spreads there. Now we're narrowing it in. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. We're either going to break out that way or break down that way. We'll keep that in place. It's good to know. Which means when we go back to the hourly, we've got a bounce point. Oh, we're quite far away from that area there. That's it really. I can't really see. We've either got to clear this region here, or we break down below this region. So I quite like the bounce down in this region again. So yesterday's low 76.52. So those are two levels to watch. 77.46 for the bounce, break and retest over pre-market high, and the bounce down there. I know we're in a bit of a downtrend on the hourly. We can also watch that area as well, pre-market high for a double top rejection. That's a big area of confluence as well, tops of candles, bottoms of candles. So 78.88 has got two levels, that's a rejection or a break and retest long. Gold, get rid of that, we don't need that anymore. Okay. It's not a great pattern, but potentially it's an inverse head and shoulders and a break and retest of the neckline. You could call this a neckline there. This is a neckline. So I quite like the bounce at pre-market low again, up. I also quite like the break and retest of pre-market high. And that's it. Rejection can be this region here. But let's just put a level in. So when I put my levels, I like to look left on the hourly to see where other pivots are. So this is a rejection area, 25, 26. RTY. Looking out for a fake breakout. So we're in this. We've been in this narrowing channel for some time. Testing extremes. We're now in the upper half of this channel where we've remained. It broke out, instantly rejected it. So I quite like the break above that area again. So today, break above pre-market high, break and retest long. Authorize the bounce. If we get down onto this channel, we can bounce off of that lower trend line. Let's get rid of the fibs, we don't need that anymore. I'm sure I did that yesterday. That area there, let's put that in as well. I'm sure I did this yesterday. I think you have to save the charts every time. So watching for the bounce. In fact, I did do that yesterday, so I remember putting it in. So we came into it in the pre-market, that area. So I'm watching for a bounce down at 22.41. Looking for the break and retest over pre-market high, which is 22.82. And we'll play by ear on what happens if we hit that upper channel, or this upper trend, this trend line. Well, we're going to break it, come out, reject it, and break out. Yeah, there's not much. I think we need to get out. Once we're out of this channel, again, this is narrowing, so we'll see what happens over the next week or two. Okay, so that's it really, not much on RTY. YM, this is the Dow Jones. Again, we had a similar situation, holding this trend line. Now we're in the upper half of this, and we've broken out. So I quite like the bounce down at 40,800, 40,071. And then the break and retest. There's not much volume there. Well, there is a bit actually. You can watch the break and retest of pre-market high. That's 41,189. Got a potential target there. But I also quite like the break and retest of that one. And volume up here is a bit less, so we could see it push out. Bounce wise, the bounce off this daily 40,694, and then we've got this pivot down here, this area of confluence as well. We can watch for a bounce this region, and that's at 40,200. Bitcoin sold off yesterday a little bit, and it's recovered. Let's look at this on the daily. doing what we talked about, is right in this channel, still holding that level there. We've got this level here as well. Potentially that's a little flag pattern setting up. Let's zoom in a bit. And I was going to say there's a good bounce. That's a good bounce there. So 63,400 for the bounce. That's based on the previous few pivots. And then we've got a bounce down at 58,900, 60,000, and obviously bottom of the channel. I thought we were going to break out of the channel, but it looks like it's doing what we did there and there. But let's see, if we just hovering sideways, then potentially we could see something like that set up. That's it for Bitcoin. It's just playing that channel moment. Let's have a quick look at order flow, see if there's anything interesting. Back today, so first day of the month, I'm going to just take it a bit easier and just trade the 60-minute levels and put my alerts in.